So, Ali, after discussing describing an image, and we said that you have 40 seconds to fully describe the image. Absolutely, I have to give enough details and I have to describe everything that is existed in the picture. So,
Yeah,
please, as I told you, you have to practice as much as you can because
yeah.
absolutely you have to speak correctly and you have to speak naturally just to be able to get a good band or mark in the PTE exam. Now, the new task that we have to discuss, Ali, is retelling a lecture. Keep in mind that we have a lecture. There is someone is going to give you a lecture and you have to retell this lecture. Absolutely, Ali. I don't have to.
What mean it's retail?
Retell is to tell the lecture again, to tell or to speak what the speaker said. Okay?
Okay.
For example, maybe I want to tell you something and you want to repeat what I said. So you have to paraphrase the words that I said. You don't have to say what I said literally, Ali, word by word. Absolutely, it's not like that. Okay? You don't have to
Okay.
copy. You don't have to copy anything because you have to use your own words to retell the lecture. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, in this task, this is a long answer speaking task type that tests both listening and speaking skill. Absolutely, you have to listen carefully to the lecture. I have to understand the lecture. I have to listen carefully to the reasons and the examples, the details, the information the speaker is going to say. After that, I have to speak and retell this lecture, tell this lecture again. So, this is about listening and speaking skill or skills. So you have to retell the lecture, you have to tell the lecture again using your own words. You don't have to copy anything, Ali. It's not dictation. You don't have to, let me say, photocopy, not photocopy, or let me say, you don't have to copy everything. This is
Copy
not,
paste. Yeah.
no, please, this is not like this. This is not retelling a lecture. You have to retell the lecture. You have to say the same details, the same information, but you have to use your own words. Okay?
Yeah.
So, using your own words and absolutely the information in a 60 to 90-second lecture. So, the lecture is going to be about 60 seconds, from 60 seconds to 90 seconds, 1 minute and a half. So, you will do three or or let me say 3 to 4 retail lecture tasks. This is the exact page that is going to be shown to you. Let me zoom the page in and let me read the information that is existed in the page. I know that the picture is not that clear, but let me try the best to read every single information that is existed in this screen. So this is the exact screen that is going to be shown in front of you. So you will hear
Yeah.
a lecture. Okay. After listening to the lecture in 10 seconds, I have to prepare myself. I have to arrange the ideas and the keywords that I wrote in the notebook. Okay. Then I have to speak into the microphone and retell what I have just heard from the lecturer. Absolutely, I have to use my own words. And I have to, or I have 40 seconds to retell the lecture. Okay. Um, Keep in mind, Ali, that there is a certain image that is going to be shown to you in this task. Absolutely, I have to take a close look at the image. I have to understand the image. Then I have to listen to the lecture. This is, or this box is about the volume. Absolutely, you can adjust the volume. Maybe you want to raise the volume up or down. And here the box is about you recording the answer. So this is the box about recording, and this is the start of the recording. So this is the exact screen, as I said, about retelling a lecture. So these are the instructions that I have to read carefully, and this is the audio box, status box, and the volume control. And this is the image related to the topic the lecture is going to speak about. Absolutely, I have to understand this image. And this box is about recording, a status box that tells you when the microphone opens and when the microphone closes. Okay?
Yeah.
So now what are the strategies and tips that I don't have to forget? That I have to remember all the time if I want to get a good band in this task, which is retelling a lecture. Now, I have to be ready absolutely before the recording begins. Look at the image. This image is useful to help you to anticipate, to predict the topic the lecturer is going to speak about. I have to be ready to take notes. Absolutely, this is the most important technique you have to adopt, Ali. You have to take notes. In the 10 seconds, you have to arrange the ideas. We have to go into details discussing taking notes. So I have to be ready to take notes on the erasable noteboard booklet. Remember, you can change the volume using the slider in the audio status box. So take notes as you listen. This technique, Ali, is extremely important. Absolutely, you have to take notes because you are not a robot. It is easy for you to forget the information the lecturer is going to say. So taking notes is really important and it is useful, Ali, just to write the keywords, to write the main ideas, just to remember the information the speaker is going to say. So please,
Okay.
this is really important. So as I listen to the lecture, I have to take notes, absolutely take notes only of the main ideas. I don't have to write everything. So don't try to write everything. It is not dictation. You will not be able, by the way, to write everything, even though that you are fast in writing. This is, as I told you, this is not dictation only. You have to write the main words just to be able to speak about these main words or main ideas only. So
Okay.
use now, if I want to take notes, Ali, I have to use keywords. Only I have to write keywords and I have to write abbreviations if I can. Let me show you an example about writing keywords and taking notes. As I told you, Ali, this technique is extremely important. Let me show you a similar task about the IELTS exam and the best way to take notes just to be able to register all the main information that I have to speak about. So please, as we said, this skill is extremely important. So this is about speaking, for example. Let me show you the task about speaking and let me show you how or the best way just to be able to write the keywords. I think the image is in speaking, yes. Let me try to check this page. If it is in this page, no, it isn't. Wait, I think in part two. Yes, it is in part two. Exactly, this is it. Okay. Now let me show you this image, Ali, and let me tell you exactly the way I have to write only the keywords. This is an example about IELTS speaking. So these are the questions. For example, let's imagine that these are the questions I want to speak about. Okay. So notice that this is the first question. This is the second question. This is the third question. So notice the first question that I have to speak about is where you went. Absolutely. I have to describe a trip I have taken recently. Now I have to say the place that I went to, where you went. I don't have to write all the answer. I have only to write the place that I went to. So where Ali
Okay.
is about a place, only I have to write the name of the place. For example, about 40 kilometers from my home. So notice this is only a brief answer about the information I want to speak about. I don't have to write everything. Now, who is talking about the person? Who you went with? I went with my family. So notice that I wrote only family. This is the keyword. And absolutely, Ali, if you want to start speaking, now you can go into details. Now you can tell about the members of the family. Now, if you want to start speaking, you can say that I went with my family, I went with my brother, and two sisters, for example, John and Sarah, and you can name the other sister. You can name the cousins, for example, if you went with cousins. So notice that I didn't write the names of the members of my family. I only wrote family. Then if I want to speak, I have to take a look at the note and I have to take a look at the main idea or the keyword, which is family. Now I have to go into details and I have to speak about my entire family. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the third question is about why. So why you went there? Absolutely, I have to write the reason. So the reason is to visit my grandparents. So only I have to write Ali, visit the grandparents. This is the meaning of keywords. Keywords, Ali, you have to write only a few words, 1, 2, 3 words maximum, because you don't have time. You cannot write everything. So you have to write only the keywords. Now, if you want to start speaking, absolutely, I can go into details. So notice that these are the keywords that I wrote. Now, if I want to speak, I have to speak such an answer. So now these are the answers about what, who, and why. Now I can go into details if I want to speak. So the first question is where. This is the name of the place. The second question is who. Now notice that I said my family. Now I can know the members of the family, or I can speak about them, my parents, my brothers, my sisters, cousin, or something like that. Father, mother, any member of the family. The last reason is why. So notice that after mentioning the people that who I went with, now I can mention the reason why and I can go into details. So this is exactly what you have to do, Ali, in writing the keywords. Only you have to write abbreviations. You don't have to write complete sentences. Don't write complete sentences. You only have to write phrases and a few words only. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is about taking notes. Okay. So we said that I have to write only keywords and abbreviations, maybe symbols.
What mean abbreviations?
Abbreviations is contractions, الاختصارات. Okay. The
Okay.
meaning of abbreviations, you don't have to write complete sentences, few words only, or maybe phrases only. Don't write complete sentences because, as I told you, you don't have enough time to write everything. Okay. You can
Okay.
use your own symbols if you want, and I have to write only the most important ideas, and I have to recognize them because absolutely I have to arrange the ideas and I have to tell the ideas, Ali, exactly as the speaker said. Okay, I don't have, for example, let's imagine that the speaker is going to speak about air pollution, sea pollution, and land pollution. Don't start with land pollution, then speak about sea pollution, then finally about air pollution. Please, you have to follow the chronological order. You have to arrange the ideas as the speaker said. You don't have to change the order of the structure of the lecture. This is really bad. Okay? So organize
Okay.
them correctly as the speaker organized his or her ideas. You don't have to destroy the chronological order. This is extremely important. Now, when the recording stops, when the recording about the speaker, when the lecturer Ali finishes saying or telling the lecture, now I have 10 seconds to arrange myself. Okay? I have 10 seconds to arrange myself, to arrange the ideas, to be ready just to speak. Then, before the tone indicates, then the tone starts, you can hear the tone that indicates that you have to start speaking. Okay? So after that, I can speak about the answer. Use this time to plan how you will begin and the order, the exact order, the correct order that I have to adopt as they are presented in the lecture. Okay?
Okay.
Now, I don't have to say every single detail the speaker said, Ali. I have to summarize the information. Now, summarizing the information, I have to use my own notes to summarize all the main points and add as many supporting details and examples as I can. All the information that you have to say, Ali, the reasons the speaker is going to mention and the examples. Let me give you an example. Let's imagine that the speaker is talking about pollution. Absolutely, the speaker is going to tell you the reasons about pollution. So you have to write the reasons. You have to write only the keywords about the reasons. After mentioning the reasons, the lecturer is going to mention some examples. So all you have to retell, Ali, is reasons and examples. These are the main ideas that you have to mention. Okay? Absolutely. I have to
Okay.
mention a conclusion if the speaker is going to mention a conclusion as well as any implications the speaker is going to say. So these are the ideas that I have to summarize and I have to retell. Now, if I want to start speaking, I have to speak clearly. Please, I don't have to hesitate. I have to speak naturally. I don't have to be fast in speaking. You have to speak as the way Ali I'm speaking. Don't rush the things up. Please try to slow down. You don't have to be really slow, but you have to slow down. If you want to ask me why should I be or why should I slow down? The answer is, first of all, you have to speak clearly. Okay? This is number one. If you want to speak clearly, you have to speak as the way I'm speaking, Ali. So notice that I'm speaking in a way I'm not that fast in speaking and I'm not that slow. Because if you want to be slow in speaking, the listener is going to be bored. And absolutely, you have only 40 seconds to retell the lecture. So if you want to be slow in speaking, you will not be able to speak or tell all the information the speaker said. This is number one. Number two, the listener is going to feel bored. And if you
Yeah.
want to speak fast, if you want to speak fast, you will not be able to speak all the words clearly. You have to speak clearly. Avoid using abbreviations, Ali. Please don't say gonna, don't say wanna. Avoid using this language. This is formal exam. You don't have to use this language. And don't use abbreviations. For example, don't say she's. You have to say she is. Don't say I'll. You have to say I will. Don't say we're, you have to say we are. Okay? So avoid language, avoid abbreviations as much as you can because this is formal language, this is formal exam, and absolutely because it is a formal exam, I have to be formal as much as I can. Okay? So notice the
Okay.
way I'm speaking, Ali. All the time, I'm using the formal language with my students. If you want to ask me why, because I'm a teacher and I have to teach you the formal language. I don't use abbreviations in speaking, Ali. I don't say I gotta go or I wanna go,
Yeah.
I wanna be with you. I can do it. I can speak such a way, but I don't use this way because this is informal. Okay?
Okay.
So please, this is really important just to get a good score in the PTE exam. So I have to be clear as much as I can. And I have 40 seconds to retell the information so you don't need to rush the things up. Please don't rush because the 40 seconds, Ali, is enough to fully answer or fully retelling the lecture. Okay?
Okay.
Absolutely. When I finish recording myself, now I can press next to the next task. So now the question is how to be fully ready for retelling a lecture. Now let's talk about sub skills tested. Now let's talk about listening because absolutely I have to listen to the lecture. After that, I have to speak about the lecture. So now, absolutely, you have to be good or you have to have a good listening skill. I have to identify the topic the lecturer is going to talk about. I have to identify the theme and the main ideas the speaker is going to say. I have to identify the supporting points, I mean the reasons here. And I have to identify the examples the speaker is going to say. I have even to identify the purpose of the topic, the style the speaker is going to use, the tone, if it is up or down, or maybe surprising or surprised tone, and the attitude the speaker is going to adopt. I have to understand academic vocabulary because absolutely, Ali, I have to understand the topic the speaker is going to speak about. If I don't have enough vocabulary, maybe I am not going to be able to understand the main ideas or the main topic the speaker is going to talk about. So, absolutely, knowing enough vocabulary is really important, not only for listening to understand everything the speaker is going to say, but also about speaking, because absolutely, I have to give enough answer and I have to be good at speaking. To do so, you have to have enough vocabulary. Okay?
Okay.
Be careful about the unfamiliar words. Learn the unfamiliar words, Ali. All the time, if you want to learn a new word, please try to know the meaning of this word, try to know the pronunciation of this word, and even try to know the writing of this word, how to write this new word, and put this new word into context in a certain example, just to be able to remember this word for a long period of time. Okay?
Okay.
And absolutely, I have to understand the implicit, the hidden information, the comprehending concrete and abstract information. I have to classify all the information the speaker is going to say, and I have to recognize the information again. And absolutely, I have to follow the oral sequencing of information, absolutely comprehending variations in tone, speed, and accent. I have to adapt a good speed while speaking, and my accent should be acceptable just for getting a good band. Now, the speaking about speaking, if I want to speak, I have to speak for purpose. Absolutely. Now, my speaking is to inform the listener about the information and to explain the information the speaker is going to use, supporting an opinion with details, I mean, the reasons, with examples the speaker is going to mention, any explanations the speaker is going to say. I have to know how to organize the presentation the speaker is going to talk about in a logical way. Please don't destroy the chronological order. And if I want to speak, as we said earlier, Ali, I have to use variety of sentences. I have to use the simple sentence, the complex sentence, the compound sentence, and even the complex compound sentence. This is really important, exactly just to get a good band. I have to use correct grammar and speaking at a natural rate. It means that I don't have to be slow or fast. So these are the best pieces of advice you have to remember just to be able to get a good score. Now, if you want to prepare yourself concerning this task, develop your own techniques for rapid node taken notes. I mean, you have to practice taken notes, Ali, because absolutely I have to be fast as much as I can. So this is not writing, this is speaking. The speaker is going to speak, and you have to write the main ideas and information fast. Because if you are not
Yeah.
fast in writing the information, you will not be able to write all the important information the speaker is going to mention. Okay? I can practice by using my own symbols, for example, just to know how to speak about them. So practice starting your response with a topic sentence that introduces the topic and main idea. All the time, I have to practice answering a certain question. I have to check if I really tell the correct main idea the speaker is going to say. The best responses will include any conclusions, any complications like reasons and examples, and always consider the significance of the information. Then I have to listen at least for 30 seconds of any lecture, noting the keywords. I have to decide the keywords in this lecture. Then stop the audio, state the main points or the keywords the speaker mentioned in the lecture, repeat this again and over again, extend your time to reach 90 seconds speaking. In this way, absolutely, your speaking will improve and you will be fast. Find any recording or podcasts of lectures with a transcript. Transcript means, Ali, the words that are shown in the lecture. We have to do this when we practice. We have to do this once or at least twice just to be able to be fully familiar with this task. After that, I'm going to make you listen to the recording without the transcript. Okay. Highlight, I have to highlight the single words, the signal, sorry, words that indicate the main points, and the main points, I mean the main points, again, the example, the reasons, then the examples, or any evidence, or maybe opposing arguments, then listen to them in the audio. I mean by opposing arguments, Ali, let me give you an example. Let's imagine that the lecturer is talking about allowing eating a chocolate at the university. Some people say that it is something normal just to eat a chocolate at university because they have the right to do so. Other students say that no, the students should be banned from eating chocolate because chocolate you can eat it outside the university. So notice that we have two arguments. The first argument is the opposite of the next one. Absolutely, I have to mention both arguments. I have to learn how to mention these arguments because it is really important. Okay? So keep
Okay.
practicing as much as you can. As I told you, just to be fast in speaking, in writing, in taking notes, and all the things that you have to adapt just to be able to get a good band. So let me recap about mentioning the tips that you don't have to forget. Don't forget, Ali, please, that in retelling a lecture, we have an image. For example, like this image. Absolutely, I have to take a look at this image. This image is not used um, such in a way which is a useless way. Absolutely, they put or they give you an image in purpose. So you have to take a look at this image, use the image to anticipate, to predict the vocabulary that you are going to hear and even you are going to use. For example, this picture is talking about what? This picture is talking about air pollution. Am I right? It's talking about pollution. So by
Yeah,
taking a look at this lecture, we can notice the smog. We can notice the fog and the smoke that we have in this picture. So we can
exactly.
exactly. So we can know the topic the speaker is going to talk about. So we know that the speaker is going to talk about pollution. Okay? So this picture is going to talk about pollution. Polluted city means you are likely to hear air pollution, or maybe industrial pollution, or maybe smog. I mean by smog, Ali, smoke and fog. Okay? Or source of pollution, maybe health problems. Absolutely, here I'm talking about reasons, motorcycles or motor vehicles, and so on. So taking a look at the picture and retelling a lecture is extremely important just to make you predict the topic the speaker is going to speak about later. After that, I have to be ready just to take notes, as we said. Don't try to write every word. It is impossible to do that, and you will never be able to do it because again the speaker is going to speak in a fast way that you will not be able to register and write every single word. It is not dictation. Only I have to write the main words, the keywords. You can use your own symbols if you want, or maybe arrows, just to take notes. And absolutely, the ideas only that I have to write about are the main ideas. After that, I have to write the supporting ideas. Supporting ideas, I mean reasons and examples. I have to stay focused and keep taking notes until the lecture or the lecturer stops. Please, I don't have to stop taking notes until the recording stops. Absolutely, you will improve your score if you include relevant detail with main point. If you include examples with main points. If you include examples with reasons. If you include conclusion with examples and reasons. So this is really important. Now, finally, the tip number 3, I have to listen and take note of any signposts to help you recognize the main points. Phrases such as there are three main areas. So let's imagine that the speaker is going to say, Ali, there are three main areas. You have to predict that the speaker is going to talk about these areas, and absolutely he is going to mention three areas. So this is the way that I have to predict the information the speaker is going to say. So in this way, or this point can guide your note taken. If your notes follow the speaker's sequencing, you can use this to organize your own response. Let me explain this point, Ali. This point is really important. Again, let's imagine that now the speaker is going to talk about this picture, okay? Now, and the speaker is going to start with air pollution, for example, air pollution. Then he is going to mention the reason, air pollution. This is what the speaker is going to say at first. After that, he's going to mention the reasons about air pollution. One reason, for example, is factories and cars. So he's going to talk about factories plus cars. After that, the speaker is going to mention some examples, like the number of cars or certain cities, for example. So this is exactly, Ali, what I have to speak. Now, if I want to retell the lecture, I have to start with what? With air pollution. This is what the speaker said in the beginning. After that, I have to mention the reasons about factories and cars. Then I have to retell the examples, the cities, for example, that the speaker mentioned. Okay? This is exactly what I have to do. Don't start talking or retelling the examples first, then jumping to talk about reasons, then to talk about, for example, the introduction. This is really wrong. So don't do it. You have to follow the chronological order. You have to organize the ideas as the speaker organized the ideas. Okay? Exactly.
Okay.
This is what you have to do. So this is the meaning of follow the speaker order, follow the speaker sequencing. Okay? So remember that after the audio stops, you have only 10 seconds to be ready. This 10 seconds is really important to arrange yourself, to arrange the ideas, to arrange the vocab that you have to speak. And after that, you have to tell the information. And absolutely, I have to be well organized just to be able to retell the lecture. Okay?
Okay.
So these are the most important tips and strategies that you don't have to forget just to be able to get a good score in retelling a lecture. So if you have any questions about these tips and strategies, you can ask me before we start practicing.
So this session, this class you'll upload on the YouTube, yeah?
Yes, I will, absolutely. You have to watch the video again, Ali.
Okay.
I don't need you to forget the tips and strategies at all. You have to apply them, Ali, one by one, just to be able to fully answer or fully retelling the lecture.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So now let's disconnect this meeting and let's meet again because it is the time to start practicing retelling a lecture.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm waiting for you. Let me disconnect the lecture.